ones that they've done since kindergarten. We'll be going to the water treatment plant up here off Sourdough, and then we go to Bogart Park, have lunch and play, and then we go to the other end to the wastewater treatment plant, and we get to see the whole
water cycle.
Yeah, kind of a cycle of what happens, and the kids hear how that goes through the pipes and all this stuff, and then ends up down there. So, and one group does this way, and one group does that way, so it works out really well. Bohart Ranch, cross country. Is it Bohart? No, Crosscut.
Crosscut.
Oh, we forgot to change it. Sorry. Crosscut. Crosscut does a fabulous day. So if you can go with us, it's really fun. I have to go on a separate day than Patty goes. So the volunteers, we need kind of even more. But you go with a group and you ski all day, and they teach them kind of Montana Outdoor Science kind of curriculum, but it's their own. They've developed their own. And it is just so much fun. And last year we got snowed on, my group, just snow. We were just wet, and everybody was smiling. Everybody had just a blast. So I would highly encourage, if you can cross-country ski, that you should come with us. Even if you can't.
We do get to go to the Bridger Bowl ski day together.
Oh, I missed that one, yeah. Bridger
and
Bowl
that's
is
January
super
7th.
fun.
So much fun.
And we take the bus up with all their skis, and they have a lesson. Everybody has to have a lesson in the morning, and they're put into different levels, so they don't all have the same lesson. And then in the afternoon they can ski with you. You know, so you can take a small group of kiddos, or I take a small group and I ski with them, and it's really fun. And then Birch Creek Overnight is in May, and we drive on the bus up to outside of Dillon to Birch Creek, and we're gonna Patty is gonna try to squeeze in the ropes course.
Yeah, we're gonna add to it. We're gonna make
which
it
we
better.
didn't do last year, so I'm super excited to see that. And then there's just many trips. We take hikes and this and that. We're always at the camp, but we always leave it and hike around, and they learn so much about the rivers and the forests, and it's just a great weekend. So if you want to chaperone with that, the only thing about that one is we can only take so many adults because there's only so many beds. Okay, so we have to be aware of that. But if we don't have enough, we'll start begging for more.
Every year I've done it, we've had a wait list of parents.
Yeah.
We have to logistically work out the boys, girls, moms, dads, the whole thing.
And last year we had less students, so we took more parents because we had more beds available. And this year we don't.
Yeah.
So, and then All District Field Day she talked about in June, and we do need lots of volunteers for that. And you show up at the high school and you run a station with. Usually there's a gym teacher there,
and you walk actually with kids or the swim center or something like that.
You either chaperone a group or you help one of the teachers.
Last year we got rained out. It was a bummer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then classroom volunteers, like I have someone coming in to help with, it's my mom, but I also have Sue coming in too, a grandma coming in and helping us with writing. And so there are times when both Patty and I have that we can squeeze volunteers in, or that we can encourage you to come and just hang out with us and help the kids. So there is a note outside to sign up if you have a time that you're thinking, I can come at 1 o'clock on Friday. I mean, we'll either say, sorry.
That doesn't work.
Or you can help Barboria in the library or whatever. But let us know if you want to come in, even if it's just to come see what's happening and hang out with us for an hour. That we love it.
Communication arts. Okay, so we're doing something different this year because that's what we do. So we're integrating.
Because we have to create more work for ourselves.
Yes, let's do it over. Let's do something different. So we're integrating the reading and writing curriculum into our science and social studies programs. So they'll be getting lots of nonfiction reading, lots of nonfiction writing. And then on Mondays, we keep our own kids and do creative writing. So also reading, the kids have the goal of reading 25 books this year. Some of the kids' hearts stopped, and some of the kids are like, it's not a problem.
Do that in a moment.
So they have binders. They record every book that they've read. So we just finished the book, we're writing the Constitution. That went into the genre of a nonfiction reading. They have 5 fantasy, 3 informational, 2 biographies. We've broken it down. 5th graders tend to be fantasy junkies. And so we feel like,
or realistic
okay,
fiction.
we're going to try to broaden your palette of reading. And it's awesome to see kids fall in love with historical fiction or nonfiction that they hadn't done before. I mean, they've been eating chocolate cake for a while, and we're going to put some vegetables out there for them. Book clubs. Book clubs are an important part of our reading program too. If your child is having any difficulty accessing the text, like the kids selected the books. So if they're having difficulty with reading, like it's just too hard to go, again, contact us and we will find accommodations, and it's okay for you to read the book.
Because it's the content of the story we care about. Not that they can read it fluently, but that they can understand it, talk about it, and have a conversation about it.
Right, with their book
So
clubs.
even if they can't access it themselves reading it, they can listen to it, you can read to them. We want them to enjoy a conversation.
And yes, schools teach cursive. We still teach cursive and word processing.
Great.
Homework, your turn.
Oh, okay, so we have the book club homework, which you already experienced 1 week of, and I hate to tell you, but if they don't show up with their stuff, we have them call so that it's there, because there is a group of 6, and they are all expected to have their activity and present to each other. So we will have them call and beg you to pick it up and bring it to school if necessary, but that's really the only time I do that. But it's really neat to watch them, and so they should read only that section, do their activity that matches whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then bring it with them, and they all sit and share and talk. It's a really cute little book club. Read every night, so if they're reading book club, good, that's great. If they finish it, we'd like them to be reading something else, so they can read almost every night or every night.
25 books.
And any book they read at home, they can come and record in their binders. Okay, so remind them of that. If they finish a book, don't forget to write that down. Math homework, 2 days a week we're hoping for. I send it home on Monday and I send it home on Friday, and it was just, I can't keep track of it. So I think what I'm gonna do is send 2 sheets home on Fridays only, and then you have as long, a week to finish it, or finish it in 3 days and send it back. But it was just too much hassle for me to try to get that, and this activity or this, I couldn't, yeah, it was hard. So I think I'm gonna do Friday. What were you?
My students, it's clipped in their planner. Since I do the planner every morning, their math should be, the day that they get the math homework, it's clipped in their planner. I wrote 20 minutes, did we write that? 20 to 30 minutes?
Well, somewhere.
I don't know, somewhere. For some of those kids, they could do both sides in 20 minutes. For some of those kids, it would take them,
Yeah, 1/4 of it's 20 minutes.
to answer 2 questions takes 20 minutes. I do not want to hear that, oh, my child's been doing math homework for 3 hours. It's just not.
We don't want
okay.
tears, we don't want to struggle.
It's just to reinforce some of those skills and then have it come, they turn it in the next day.
And it's fine to send the homework back with too hard or didn't understand, and that way we know that they did work on it, they did struggle with it, and we can help them after that, okay? That's really important to us because we don't want any stress with homework. And then another one that will be a little stressful is this one.
STEM Expo.
The STEM Expo is science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's not just a science experiment. You can just do a science experiment, but there's so many options out there for STEM, and they do a really good job of teaching it. So come to the parent meetings when they have them, and they'll teach you what that looks like, because it doesn't have to look like a trifold with an experiment. It could be lots of other things. That will be in
March 7th is the
March.
expo, the evening.
And it is required, it's mandatory for all 5th graders to do it, just like 4th graders. So, same idea.
There is a social studies project going home in the Friday folders, and I spent a lot of time trying to make sure I explained everything. But if you have questions, let me know. And it's the only, well, of course they've got to memorize the preamble, but there's this little project they're doing. So,
And that's really the only one you do, right?
Bridges.
Yeah. Oh, Bridges is our math program 2nd year. It's going so much better. We're starting to understand all the strategies ourselves. So if you have questions, please let us know. We do try to differentiate and try to get kids different things going on with math. So hopefully that'll be good. And there is a website you can go to. We'll send more information about that.
Okay, so the social studies and science, like we said,
2 minutes.
I know. We started 5 minutes late. But anyhow.
Yeah, that's true.
All 60 kids are split up into 2 groups, and they're going to stay in those 2 groups at
We
least
mix them
until January, at the end of January. And they're 75-minute blocks, so we have a good solid amount of time to dig into some literature and writing and content.
It's fun. I love it.
You want to talk about Mystery Science?
I'm running the science curriculum, so I'm doing some Mystery Science and some Project Lead the Way. And Mystery Science has videos that are taught by Mr. Doug and some activities. Hopefully you saw 3 things come home last week. that you're looking at the stars or you're doing a sundial or whatever. And so there's some really fun activities through there that they're really showing kids why our Earth works the way it does. But then we have lots of other topics. Project Lead the Way is about infectious disease, pretty cool, and some robots. So you'll be seeing a lot of that in science.
And in social studies, the theme is the story of us, the United States. And that is early explorers to World War II.
Just a little piece of time.
So we are going to begin with this project about the story of us. Like, what is your story? What is your history? Electives.
So super fun. On Fridays, we mix the 4th and the 5th graders together, and we let them all pick which elective they wanted to do, whether it would be Genius Hour with me, student leadership with Patty, there's STEM with Miss Schaefer, and there's a technology more computer-based with Miss Sigler. And we let them all pick, and I'll tell you what, we ended up with about 30 in every classroom. It was amazing.
It was so cool.
That's their first choices. So they're gonna each go to a different room on Friday for an hour. I get to meet some of the 4th graders, they get to meet us, and so we're just gonna be doing those activities once a week. So it's
Electives is
a
new.
mix. But they do it in 6th grade, so we thought it'd be a fun little taste.
Okay. We have STAR assessments, beginning, middle, and end. SBAC, April and May, are assessments that we come up with. The district, we are data driven. We sit down with the data and decide what does the student need, what does this group of students need, how can we help that group. So we do look at the data that we collect from the kids. For communication, we will talk in October. You'll also get a mid-year progress report.
January, end of January?
Yeah, end of January. There's an April conferences, and then at the end of the year is like this culminating report card.
6 pages.
Expectations. So this is a big year transition into middle school. If your kid has trouble with organization and that kind of thing, there is a class in middle school for it, but they lose an elective. And that's not a threat, that's just the way it is.
It's a consequence.
It's an outcome. I've changed to outcome. It's an outcome.
It's an outcome.
They
Okay.
sit and they help them with their planner, they help them get their homework done. So really, this is a good year to start getting it together and working on those study habits, the independence, building their responsibility. We have flexible seating in the classroom to help them whatever they need to be productive. We have classroom meetings where we talk about growth mindset and so many
Kindness.
issues, personal, how to relate to others. And of course, routine is super important. So when they are absent, it kind of throws them off a little bit. Mr. McClellan's challenge this year is, this
Did he
is a
say
challenge.
this at the meeting?
He gave this to the kids. And so reinforcing that at home would be lovely. Thanks.
Okay, so any questions, write a note.
Yes.
Thank you for